The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone.
Present.
Alderman Narayan. Alderman Devoti.
And she's getting a resolution.
Alderwoman Velasquez. Alderwoman Sanier. Alderwoman Cox Antwi. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Present.
Alderman Aldrich. President Green. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Velasquez. 13 present. We have quorum.
A quorum being present, we will be led in an opening reflection by the co-lead for St. Louis Be Smart, Peggy Newfield. For prayer, sorry, opening reflection and prayer. Yes. No, opening reflection. Okay. Yes.
Thank you to the St. Louis Board of Aldermen for announcing the 2025 Smart Week resolution. This resolution is necessary because unsecured firearms in homes and cars pose a risk for children and teens being injured or killed. You've heard that firearms are the leading cause of death in children under 18 years old. That's an average of 7 children every day, according to CDC 2023 statistics. Another concern is the suicide in youth is increasing. 44% of child suicides involve a gun. We know that using a gun is 90% fatal, which means there's no second chance. But in addition to gun deaths nationally, more than 17,000 children receive injuries from shootings. And in St. Louis, for this year, as of September 3rd, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports 45 shootings of youth, of which 20 were killed and 3 under 5 years old. Gun violence shapes the lives of children who witness it and of those who know someone who was shot, and they may live in fear of the next shooting. So the National Annual Smart Week campaign is in August, but in St. Louis, we're celebrating August and September since schools start at different times. One of the smartest things adults can do to keep kids, classrooms, and communities safe from gun violence is to raise awareness about secure gun storage. The Smart Week message is simple. As you get your children ready to go back to school, parents have homework too, to lock up your guns in your homes and your cars. So Be Smart, Smart Week builds on the foundation of Be Smart, which is a nonpartisan public education program. I urge you to go to our national website, besmartforkids.org, and learn the 5 simple actions for adults. It starts with storing guns securely and also safety conversations, not only to your children, what to do if they see a gun, but to any adults who might be watching your children. You need to ask before you drop your kids off, if you have a gun, how is it stored, so that everyone can be safe. So schools, hospitals, city and city and county government agencies and community agencies, we all have roles to help turn around this public health crisis. And we thank the Board of Aldermen today for encouraging the Smart Week message, and we invite everyone, tell your family and your friends, amplify it on social media. It doesn't have to be Smart Week. Together, we can make sure maybe this is a good school year. Thank you.
No, I know. Thanking her and letting her know. We will dispense with the regular order of business to take up the courtesy resolutions calendar. Alderwoman from the 12th, you're recognized on the motion to suspend the rules for the purposes of introducing resolutions 120 and 121.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I'd rise to request that we suspend the rules to introduce courtesy resolutions 120 and 121.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 12th, seconded by the Alderman from the 2nd Ward, that we suspend the rules for the purposes of moving resolutions, introducing resolutions 120 and 121. This is a non-debatable motion to suspend the rules. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan. Alderman Devote. Alderwoman Velasquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Cox-Antwi. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldrich. President Green. We have 13 aye votes.
He
I'm
said-
sorry, Alderman, thank you. We have 14 aye votes.
By your vote, you have sustained the motion from the Alderwoman from the 12th. Madam Clerk, please place resolutions 120 and 121 at the end of the courtesy resolution calendar.
Noted.
Alderwoman from the 9th, Alderman from the 9th, and Alderwoman from the 10th, if you would please approach the dais for presentation of resolutions. There's Alderman from the 9th first. Thank you.
Thank you. May I please ask the clerk to read the resolution?
Resolution number 113, honoring the life and legacy of Brandon Jones. Whereas Brandon Jones' life was mission-driven, focused on making St. Louis a better place, and whereas she was born a child of the 60s, loved the Grateful Dead, and called all bigots, and whereas she graduated from John Burroughs High School and Smith College, where she was prepared to take her place for the betterment of St. Louis, and whereas she led the Central West End Neighborhood Association in the 90s, as the Central West End saw the medical school campus grow, retail expand, and property values increase, and whereas she worked for President Jim Shrewsbury office at the St. Louis Board of Aldermen beginning in 2002, and whereas she proudly represented President Shrewsbury in all matters in the world of art at East-West Gateway, SLDC meetings, and worked tirelessly for environmental progress for St. Louis. And whereas she refined and helped administer policy issues that would reshape Forest Park, downtown, and the board itself. And four, whereas she took intern Ryan Coleman under her wings and challenged the stereotypes of our North City neighborhoods by taking him to events so he could meet the people who made change happen. And whereas she took Ryan to neighborhoods with manicured lawns and pampered flower gardens to illustrate that there was more to the neighborhoods of North City than what you saw on the news. And whereas she took a growing interest in the distress of animals in the city while working to replace the animal control facility during her time at the board. And whereas when she left the board in 2007, she continued to solve an urgent need, hundreds of abandoned cats, by founding Animal House and city's largest cat shelter. And whereas in her work with the Animal House, she connected hundreds of families with companions through thoughtful adoption, enriching families, and whereas she grew Animal House into a new, larger facility, raising over $600,000 annually to support saving hundreds, if not thousands, of cats' lives over her 15 years. And at the helm, and whereas she continued her work as executive director of the Laclede Landing Neighborhood Association, working to connect stakeholders to continue the revitalization of the area with business, residents, and visitors in mind. And whereas her longtime partner, Bill Stratman, was by her side while they shared many concerts, estate sales, and dozens of friends. And whereas she left us too soon, too fast, and too young, and there is no overstating the loss of Brendan from the community she loved so much and championed in both her personal and professional life. Now, therefore, be resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis that we pause in our deliberations to honor the life and legacy of Brendan Jones. We express our deepest sympathy to her family, friends, and colleagues in our enduring gratitude for her service to our city. We further direct the clerk of this board to spread a copy of this resolution across the minutes of these proceedings to prepare a commemorative copy to the end that we may be presented a time and place and to those deemed appropriate by the sponsor. Introduced this 26th day of September 2025 by the Honorable Michael Browning, Alderman of the 9th Ward, co-sponsors Alderman Shane Cone of the 3rd, Alderman Rasheen Aldrich, Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderman Oldenburg, Alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Laura Keys, Alderwoman Jamie Cox Antwi, the Honorable Matt Devote, Honorable Daniela Velasquez, and the Honorable Alicia Sanye. Adopted this 26th day of the September 2025.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution 113 at this time.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 9th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 11th, the elevated 11th Ward, that we adopt Resolution 113. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I think it's important that we break to recognize anyone who has devoted their life to service of our city. What we have here with us today is we have several members of President Drew Shrewsbury's staff when they were down here at the Board of Aldermen. They worked together closely as a family, and they worked for the betterment of our city. Brandon Jones was somebody who, as you can tell from what was mentioned in this resolution, and those of you who knew her, was someone who devoted her life to making others' lives better. And I think that's all we can ask for from a public servant. So I'm grateful that we can take the time today to honor her life and legacy, to provide comfort and solace to her loved ones and her friends, and understanding that here at the city, we always stand up for and appreciate the people who give their lives to us every day. It is a sacrifice. It is something that we all do every day. But, you know, when I think of the above and beyond, I look at what Brandon Jones was able to do, and that is exactly it. She wasn't just helping people, she was helping animals, she was helping people around her. She was doing things that will far outlast her time here with us. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity. I don't think I've seen so many aldermen just sign on before we even introduce something, so I appreciate all those who co-sponsored this resolution. And I'd like to introduce the staff that had worked with her, Pam Ross, Ryan Coleman, and her partner, Bill Stratman. And Mr. Stratman, if you'd like to say any words, you're welcome to. You're good. Understand that. So again, thank you all for taking the time this morning. It's really important that we always recognize people who serve down at this board.
Thank you. If we could all rise for a moment of silence, recognition of the life and service of Brandon Jones. Please bow your heads. Thank you. I too had the opportunity to know and love Brandon. She was an incredible force, not only down here during her tenure at City Hall and in city government, but I knew her before I was ever elected through some mutual friends, through her work that she did with Animal House, and we became quick friends. I think it's easy, and I think a lot of people have that relationship with Brandon because she was just so lovable and so kind and so generous with her time and spirit that it was hard not to love her. And I shared this with Pam last week, just my deepest sympathies and condolences going out to you, Bill. It's incredible. I just had breakfast with her not that long ago, and I can't imagine everything that you're dealing with. And I'm so happy that we can be here as a kind of support structure and extended family and community for you as you go through your process and loss right now. But please know that she made a tremendous impact on this city and the lives of so many people, and she will truly be missed. Any comments from our colleagues? Alderman from the 8th.
I had the honor of getting to know Brandon in her capacity as the executive director of Laclede's Landing. And though I knew her briefly in this role, everything that Alderman Browning outlined was clearly exuded in her passion, her care, her generosity, and her just knowledge of the city. So I just wanted to echo the sentiments of the aldermen and say that this is truly, I know something that's very hard, but also Brandon was such a light and had continued to show that light in all the work she was doing with Laclede's Landing, and she will truly be missed. And it was an honor to get to know her.
Alderwoman from the 1st.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I appreciate this resolution so much and the time we're taking to honor Brandon's life today. I met her when I was 25 years old, so about 13 years ago. I went to adopt a cat, my first cat, and I was so excited about it, but I'd never had a cat before, so whoever was doing the intake decided that I had no experience, I had no reason to get a cat, and they denied my application. So I happened to talk to Brandon about that, and she was like, no, I think you'll be a good cat owner, and she let me adopt this cat who is I love so deeply. Anyway, over the last 13 years, I have gotten deeply involved with cat rescue, feral cat outreach. I've fostered over 50 cats, trapped, spayed, neutered, released hundreds of cats. And I don't think any of that would have been possible without her recognizing that, people need a chance. So I'm sure I'm just one of many stories that many people that she inspired to step up and be a bigger part of the animal rescue world, something that I really don't think I would have been able to explore so deeply had I not had that first chance to adopt a pet. So I just want to say thank you to her and to you. I'm sure you all have obviously been huge parts of her life, and I don't think that people in our lives the people that are in our lives touch us and inspire us in so many ways. So thank you for whatever role you had in that, because it certainly has made a huge difference in my life. So thank you.
Alderman from the 4th Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move that we move this forward in bank.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 4th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 6th that we... Oh, it has already been adopted, Alderman. But thank you for the sentiment there. Any further discussion? I would just like to, again, extend our heartfelt condolences to Bill and everyone who knew and loved Brandon. And these resolutions, as you all know, having worked for the Board of Aldermen, stay in our city records for eternity. So folks will know years from now the good work that Brandon did for this city, both here at City Hall and in our community. And may her memory be a blessing to us all. Thank you. Thank you both. Alderwoman from the 10th.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. Madam Clerk, can you please read resolution, the resolution honoring the 2025 Smart Week?
Yes, one moment, please.
Resolution 116. I'm sorry, I should have said the number.
Resolution number 116, honoring 2025 Smart Week resolution. Whereas guns are the #1 killer of children and teens in the United States. The City of St. Louis is committed to creating a safe environment, contributing to the safety and well-being of our children. And whereas almost every single day a child gets their hands on a gun and unintentionally kills or wounds themselves or someone else in the United States, research shows that the most effective way to prevent children from accessing firearms is by making sure all guns are stored unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition. And whereas there are steps we can all take, gun owners and non-gun owners alike, to make sure kids can't access guns and put themselves and others in danger. More than half of gun owners don't lock all of their guns securely, and an estimated 4.6 million children's lives in a home live in a home with at least one unlocked and loaded gun in the United States. And whereas when guns aren't properly stored, tragedy can strike. Whether it's a child finding a firearm and wounding or killing themselves or someone else, or someone stealing it and using it to commit crimes in our communities. Protecting public safety in the communities they serve is the St. Louis Board of Aldermen's highest responsibility. And whereas schools, hospitals, state agencies, and community organizations are committed to their crucial role in reducing injuries and deaths by promoting secure gun storage and safety. And Smart Week raises awareness and promotes efforts to educate the public about secure gun storage. For many children in St. Louis, September is also back to school month. The Be Smart message of keeping children and teens safe from firearms resonates throughout the entire school year. The City of St. Louis commends Be Smart, a program developed by the Every Town for Gun Safety Support Fund, and all involved in their endeavor to keep communities safe. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Honorable Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis that we pause in our deliberation to recognize August 25th, 2025 through August 29th, 2025 as Be Smart Week in the City of St. Louis. For many children in St. Louis, September is also a back-to-school month. We further direct the clerk of this board to spread a copy of this resolution across the minutes of these proceedings and to prepare a commemorative copy to the end that we may be presented at the time and place deemed appropriate by the sponsor. Introduced this 26th day of September 2025 by the Honorable Shameen Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman of the 10th Ward, co-sponsors Honorable Michael Browning, Alderman of the 9th Ward, adopted this 26th day of September 2025.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you all for being here this morning and sharing those words of information and empowerment. We all serve from our own respective places and have our own lived experiences around guns and gun violence. And so using our platform today, I think, is most valuable to not only elevate the work that you all are doing, but also carry it on. As mentioned here, we know it's bigger than 1 week and it's bigger than a month. It's every day. And for many people, again, it's the rest of their lives. So thank you again for this work, and please know that myself, along with my colleagues, stand in full support and ready in engagement anytime that we can help support the Be Smart organization.
Do you have any additional remarks? Okay. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you again. It's just wonderful that the City Board of Aldermen members are so supportive on this. It's very easy to get agreement because it's just saving children's lives.
Thank you. Comments from colleagues. Alderman from the 11th.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair or Vice President. It's going to take a little getting used to saying that today. But I would move that we embank this bill. Thank you.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 11th, seconded by the Alderman from the 13th. Was that you, Alderwoman Boyd?
Yes,
Okay.
sir, that is.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 13th that we pass Resolution 116 and bank. Madam, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? With that, Resolution 116 is banked, which means all members of the Board of Aldermen have signed on as co-sponsors. Any further remarks? Any further comments? Alderman from the 13th, you have your hand raised.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President and Board. I want to thank the organization that's pushing forward on this. And I just feel that, as Alderwoman Hubbard said, it impacts people's lives continuously. And when someone gets shot, even killed, it has a snowball effect on those families and the victims that were involved. And so when you are a parent and you have a child that has been hit by gunfire, and it makes a big impact in your lives, and it makes people start thinking twice. And I don't think this is something, I'm glad we're doing, celebrating this time period, but I think, and I tell people all the time, when McDonald's did 365 days Black History, we need to do 365 days of gun prevention and education. So thank you so much for what you're doing, and we'll continue to support you in your work.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Any further comments? Seeing none, Alderman from the 8th, or actually we're going to do a photo. Yeah. Everyone, if you would like to be part of a photo for Resolution 116, please approach the dais. Legs hurt? A little bit. Congratulations. You did. Thank you for your advocacy. Yeah, they're cute though.
Now we're going to adopt the courtesy resolution.
Great. Get her off the dais.
Yeah.
Did you flip this back? You are on it. Alderman Velasquez. Okay. Alderwoman from the 10th, you are recognized on the motion to adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Members of the board, I move that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Alderman from the 1st. Your mic's not on, Alderwoman.
I agree. Thank you, Mr. Vice President and members of the board. Can you please add me as a co-sponsor to Resolution 117?
Madam Clerk, make note. Any further discussion? Alderwoman from the 11th.
Hello? Oh, there we are. I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor on every courtesy resolution. Thank you.
So noted.
Madam Clerk, thank you. Any further discussion? Alderwoman from the 10th.
Please add me as a co-sponsor to resolutions 120 and 121. Thank you.
So noted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any further discussion? Alderwoman from the 7th.
I have a coffee cup that I will
Please add me as co-sponsor to Resolution 120.
So noted.
Madam Clerk, please make note. Thank you. Any further discussion? Alderman from the 4th, are you? No, okay. All right, seeing.
Oh, no, I don't have any further discussion. I'm waiting on the honored guest.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introduction of honored guests. Alderwoman from the 11th.
Thank you. And unlike Beyonce, say my name, say my name. The elevated 11th ward.
The elevated 11th ward.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have so much to be grateful for this day and so many people. As all of you know, I had a very harrowing experience this past week, and I want to thank the full complement of the Board of Aldermen for reaching out, calling, texting, sending, well wishes, and we had the very best of all possible outcomes. More importantly, my family was extremely impacted. It's very upsetting to my immediate family, but as well as my siblings. And I want to be very intentional about making sure that I acknowledge the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department for all of their hard work. I mean, they did such a thorough investigation, and the great thing was that they didn't just do it on their own, they included me. They walked the area with me so that we could find evidence and everything. They did a spectacular job. I want to thank the person who had the Ring camera that showed exactly what happened. It is so important that we do have people with cameras on their houses, the front of their houses, the alleys and stuff like that, because they do show what has occurred. Additionally, I'd like to take a moment of silence for former Alderwoman Bernice Jones King's mother-in-law who passed, and there's a resolution for her here today.
Could we do that during the announcements period? We should be focusing on honored guests.
Right, I do agree. And unfortunately, I am going to have to leave early because I have to go to a ribbon cutting. So I'm just trying to get as much in as I can very quickly. So if you will indulge me.
Of course, Alderwoman, thank you. Could you, Alderwoman Bernice Jones King's...
Maggie King. Passed away.
Thank you. If we could all rise for a moment of silence for Maggie King. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I'm leaving early, so I do want to remind everybody that tomorrow is Tire Amnesty Day. Because of budgeting and some other factors, we're only going to have the one for the end of September, which is tomorrow from 10 to 1 o'clock at the corner of Carter and Grand. And then we will do it again on the 4th Saturday of September. Tire Amnesty Day. This is an opportunity for people in community to get tires that have been illegally discarded in our neighborhoods, on our streets, our alleys, and roadways. Please pick them up, get them to the corner of Grand and Carter tomorrow morning so that they can be properly disposed of. Thank you all, and especially thank you to the Board of Aldermen. I can't tell you how much your attention really means to me and to my family. And so with that, the word today is gratitude, and I'm very thankful. God bless you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Further introduction of honored guests. Seeing none, we'll move on to, Alderwoman, thank you, Alderwoman from the 10th.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I would like to have as my honored guest my mother-in-law, Penny Hubbard. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Mama. I pray you enjoy a peaceful day full of love and celebration that is all about you, because you absolutely deserve it as an amazing mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother and mother figure, matriarch to so many, not just in our family, but in the Courseware neighborhood and the city, the region, the state for that matter, and the work you've done across the state. Just, I love you. I pray you have the happiest birthday yet. Happy birthday.
Any further introductions of honored guests? Seeing none, approval of the meeting minutes from Friday, September 9th. I'll entertain a motion on the approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Members of the board, I move that we approve the minutes from Friday, September 19th, 2025.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 4th, that we approve our meeting minutes from Friday, September 19th, 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, C, and D of the agenda and has been placed in the Google Drive for your review.
Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized on Mayor Spencer's appointments to the Board of Adjustment.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I move to send this appointment to the HUD's committee.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th. There's been an objection to previous roll. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Aye. Alderman Cone.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan. Alderman Devoti. Alderwoman Velasquez. Aye. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Cox-Antwi. Alderman Browning. Aye. Alderwoman Clark-Hubbard. Aye. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldrich.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys. We have 13 aye votes.
Thank you. With that, you sustain the motion from the Alderman from the 14th. Madam Clerk, the nominations for...
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the Board of Adjustment. To the appointment of Holly Hills, that would be James Dallas.
Next one.
Rachel Nast, that would be Rachel Nast.
Alderman from the 1st, you're recognized on Mayor Spencer's appointment to the Holly Hills Special Business.
It's not on there.
If we could be patient.
I am. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I move to accept the appointment of Rachel Nast to the Holly Hill Special Business District.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 1st, seconded by the Alderman from the 2nd, that we approve Mayor Spencer's appointment to the Holly Hill Special Business District. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone, Vice Chair Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Devoti. Alderwoman Velasquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Cox-Antwi.
Aye.
Alderman Browning. Aye. Alderwoman Clark-Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldrich. 13 aye votes.
Thank you. With that, you sustain the motion. Petitions and communications.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 8. Does anyone have any bills or resolutions that they would like to take off any of the informal calendar? Does anyone want to take any bills or resolutions off of any of the informal calendars? Does anyone want to take any bills or resolutions off any of the informal calendars? We will dispense with line items 9, 10, and 11. First reading of board bills.
Board Bill number 73, introduced by Alderman Aldrich, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in the 13th Street from Cole Street to Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, the 12-foot wide north-south alley in City Block 270 as bounded by Carr Street, Tucker Boulevard, Cole Street, and 13th Street vacated, and the 20-foot wide east-west alley in City Block 547 as bounded by Cole Street, 13th Street, Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, and the 14th Street in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereafter described in accordance with Charter authority and in conformity with Section 14, Article 21 of the Charter, and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. Board Bill number 74, introduced by Alderman Narayan, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing the City Emergency Management Agency to accept hazard mitigation grant program funding in an amount of $697,678.87 from the State of Missouri Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, appropriating said funds and required city match for such funds, authorizing the expenditure of such funds to the extent received, and authorizing contracts and other documents to expend such funds to the extent received and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill number 75, introduced by Alderwoman Sanier, an ordinance establishing a four-way stop site at the intersection of Cherokee Street and Virginia Avenue in the Benton Park West and Gravois Park neighborhoods in the 7th Ward to regulate traffic, traveling in all directions, and containing an emergency clause. That is the extent of first reading of board bills.
Reference to committee of board bills.
To Public Infrastructure and Utilities, Board Bill 73 and 75, and to Public Safety, Board Bill number 74.
Second reading and report of standing committees.
To the following board bills, pass out of committee with a due pass recommendation. Out of the Public Infrastructure, Board Bill number 61, introduced by Alderwoman Schweitzer, and Board Bill number 70, introduced as amended in committee, introduced by Alderman Aldrich. Out of Public Safety, Board Bill number 52, introduced by Boyd. Board Bill number 69, introduced by Narayan, President Green, Clark, Hubbard, and Aldrich. That is the extent of second reading and report of standing committees.
Report on special committees.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 15, board bills for perfection consent.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 16, board bills for perfection.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 17, report of engrossment.
Board Bill number 39, committee substitute, and Board Bill number 60. I can go back to the second reading and report of standing committees to read all of the board bill. We can begin with Board Bill number 61, introduced by Alderwoman Schweitzer, pursuant to ordinance number 70333, as amended by ordinance number 71394, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic in the First Ward. Board Bill number 70, as amended in committee, introduced by Alderman Aldrich, pursuant to ordinance number 70333, and as amended by ordinance number 71394, the Director of Streets is hereby directed to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on certain blocks in the 14th Ward. Board Bill number 52, out of Public Safety, introduced by Alderwoman Boyd, the ordinance repealing ordinance number 71664 concerning the insurance of liquor licenses, and in action a new ordinance prohibiting the insurance of any package or drink liquor licenses for any currently non-licensed premises within the boundaries of the 13th Ward Liquor Control District, and containing an emergency clause and severability clause. Board Bill number 69, out of Public Safety, introduced by Alderman Narayan, President Green, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, and Alderman Aldrich, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 70800 to establish the rules of conduct pertaining to inspections and inspector qualifications regarding heating, boilers, pressure vessel, and steam generators in accordance with the National Board Inspection Code. That is the extent of second reading and report of standing committees.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I believe we were on report of engrossment.
Board Bill number 39, committee substitute, and Board Bill number 60.
And okay, Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized to, I believe you want to pull Board Bill 39 off of the consent.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. Could we put Board Bill 39 committee sub on the third reading and final pass calendar?
It's been moved by the Alderman from the, it's just a request, yeah. Madam Clerk, please note.
Noted.
Thank you. Alderman or Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to adopt the third reading and final passage of board bills on. Oh, yeah. Okay. We are on to third reading and final passage of board bills.
Board Bill number 60, introduced by Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, President Green, Alderwoman Velasquez, Alderman Cone, Alderwoman Keys, Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderwoman Sanier, Alderman Browning, Alderman Aldrich, and Alderwoman Cox-Antwi, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission amending Chapter 26 of the Zoning Code, defining, permitting, and regulating accessory dwelling units, ADU, and containing a severability and emergency clause.
Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on third reading and final passage of Board Bill 60.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I move that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 60.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 60. Alderwoman, you may.
I renew my motion.
Is there any discussion on Board Bill 60? Alderman from the 4th Ward.
Turn your mic on.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I'll be brief. I realize that I'm the only no vote on this, but I continue to have concerns that we're going to see a proliferation of short-term rentals, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Odenberg.
Aye.
Vice Chair Cone.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan.
No.
Alderman Devoti.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velasquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanier.
Aye.
Alderwoman Cox-Antwi. Alderman Browning.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldrich.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys. We have 12 aye votes, 1 no.
By your vote, you have sustained the motion from the Alderwoman from the 10th and have third read and finally passed Board Bill 60. Report of final. Oh, and we move 39 over to third reading and final. Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized on the motion to adopt the third reading, or nope, on third reading and final passage of Board Bill 39 committee substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I move that we finally third read and final pass Board Bill 39 committee substitute.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th. Is there a second? Second from the Alderman from the 9th Ward. 8th, sorry. That we third read and final pass Board Bill 39 committee substitute. Any discussion? Oh, Alderman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I'll keep this brief. I know this is on consent last week, but I think this is a huge moment in our city history just to talk about the progress that is being made right now on the Millennium Hotel. So when we finally pass this bill today, we are going to be able to start the process of demoing a building that has really been a blight for the downtown area. I'm honored that I've been able to work on this legislation with some great people that have took the time to start to move forward to not only get this building down, but in the long term, eventually bring some great development. I want to give a huge shout out to the Arch Foundation for taking on kind of this first ever time project of getting a building like this and starting the process so that we can get it down. I also want to thank Mr. Sweeney for being a great leader also in this process, as well as a new alderwoman of the 8th Ward. This project is actually in the 8th, but one thing between the 14th and the 8th, we do share downtown, but we're working very closely to make sure that it's not split up. And when she came in, the board bill was already filed, but she quickly rolled up her sleeves and figured out how she can get involved and be part of the conversations. As well as I want to thank, members, our black contractors, Jaffet and others, who came to the table to make sure, even though the legislation already have MWBE requirements, but just to make sure that these, during the demo process, that they're being maximized. So this has been a heavy lift and some months of work ahead. And I think, as there's some great things coming to downtown, as this, a food hall, and a potential maybe entertainment district, I think this is just going to add to the momentum to the city of St. Louis and the downtown area.
Thank you, Alderman. Any further discussion? Alderwoman from the 8th Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I just wanted to echo the alderman from the 14th sentiment about how momentous this moment is, and thank him for all of his efforts on behalf of the 8th Ward for the work he has done, along with all the other individuals that he's been working with over the last few months to get this bill in this moment over the edge. I do think that this historic building and the progress that's going to come from its redevelopment will be a great value add, not only to our city, but to our downtown area. So I just wanted to recognize his effort and thank him for his partnership in this work to get this forward.
Thank you, Alderman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, well, you're recognized to close, Alderman.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board again. Just thank all the partners that have been involved in this, and she's being very gracious, but I do want to also thank the Alderwoman from the 8th for coming in very early and being part of this project, and looking forward to continuing to work with her on other projects in our region to move us forward. And with that, I will close.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Vice Chair Cohn.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan. Alderman Devoti. Alderwoman Velasquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Cox-Antwi. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark-Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldrich.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Alderwoman, we're unable to hear you.
You can't hear me?
We can now.
Okay. My lips were moving anyway.
I could see that you were saying aye, but we couldn't hear anything. Thank you, Alderwoman.
We have 13 aye votes.
By your vote, you have sustained the motion from the Alderman from the 14th and have third read and finally passed Board Bill 39 Committee Substitute. Report of finally passed and signed by the President.
Board Bill number 39, Committee Substitute, and Board Bill number 60.
All other business being suspended, the President shall in open session affix his signature hereto to the end that these may become law. First reading of resolutions and reference to committee.
Resolution number 118, introduced by Alderman Aldrich and President Green. Now therefore it be resolved by this Honorable Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis, Missouri, commits to negotiating in good faith to swiftly reach an agreement with UAW and Legislative Staff's Organizing Committee that recognizes the essential work of the Board of Aldermen's legislative staff.
Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized on first reading of resolution number 118.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the Board of Aldermen. I would like to send this resolution to Personnel and Administration Committee.
Is there a second? It's been seconded. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th, that we send resolution 118 to Personnel Administration. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderman Oldenburg, Vice Chair Cohn,
Aye.
Alderman Narayan, Alderman Devoti, Alderwoman Velasquez, Alderwoman Sanye, Alderwoman Cox Antwi, Alderman Browning, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Keys, Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Alderman Aldrich, Alderwoman Keys. We have 13 aye votes.
By your vote, you have sustained the motion from the Alderman from the 14th to send Resolution 118 to Personnel Administration. Second reading of resolutions, committee reports, and adoptions.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 23, miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 25, announcements.
Tuesday, September the 30th, 2025, Legislation and Rules Committee in the Kennedy Room at 2 p.m. Wednesday, October the 1st, 2025, Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee in the Kennedy Room at 3:30 p.m. Friday, October the 3rd, full board meeting in chambers at 10 a.m.
Any further announcements? Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Public Safety will be meeting at 2 p.m. on October 2nd in the Kennedy Room to take up Prop S and Board Bill 74.
Alderwoman from the 10th.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. First, want to call a HUD's committee hearing for this coming Tuesday at 11 a.m. And also then want to announce the 10th Ward, our one-on-one this month is around having good deeds. And our speakers will be our Collector of Deeds, Michael Butler, as well as Peter Hoffman from Legal Services of Eastern Missouri, in addition to the regularly scheduled time for you to connect with myself, our legislative assistant, Mr. Daryl Granberry, St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department representatives of 2nd and 5th District, and your neighborhood improvement specialists. And it's at 6:30 p.m. this Monday, September 29th, Union Memorial UMC. That's at 1141 Belt Avenue. Hope to see you there, as well as maybe I'll see you out at Evolution Festival in Forest Park.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 9th.
Thank you. I just want to announce a Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee for next Wednesday. That's October 1st at 3:30 p.m. We will be hearing Resolution 111, which has to do with regulations for data centers. I know that's a hot topic for a lot of people, so please come share your thoughts with us. We would like to hear from the public. Also want to invite all of our colleagues to come down and observe the naturalization ceremony that's occurring right now down in our atrium. That's a beautiful, beautiful event, watching people become new citizens of our country, and I highly recommend going that happen.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. First, I would like to announce a town hall that is coming up tomorrow that is being hosted by myself, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderwoman Sanye, Alderwoman Velasquez, Alderwoman Cox Antwi, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, and Alderwoman, I think I said Pam Boyd, and Keys as well. Tomorrow we will be holding a town hall starting at 11 p.m. at the O'Fallon Rec Center, 11 a.m., not p.m., 11 a.m. At the O'Fallon Rec Center, along with other contractors to talk about the state of the MWBE program in the city of St. Louis. Please come out so that we as a legislative body and also contractors can hear your voice, but also update you on recent things that are going on with the MWBE and want to know kind of what is the next steps that we need to take as a community. As well as I want to announce right now, which I couldn't make it because I'm here, but we are having the grand opening of the NGA, something that has been a long time coming. It started under the leadership of Alderwoman Tamika Hubbard and it's continued its momentum. And today is a very big day, I think, not only for the 14th Ward, but for the city of St. Louis as a whole, as we hope to bring a lot of development over in the 14th and throughout the city. So big day for NGA, a big win for the city, as well as a big win for the 14th. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman from the 13th, I noticed that your hand was raised. I don't know if you still have an announcement.
No, the Alderman from the 14th took it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Thank you, Alderwoman. Any further announcements? Seeing none, Alderman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. I move that we excuse our president, President Green, for necessary absence.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we excuse President Green for necessary absence. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Adjournment. Alderman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Members of the board, I move that we adjourn until Friday, October 3rd, 2025, in the Board of Alderman chambers at 10 a.m.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th, that we adjourn until Friday, October 3rd, 2025, in the Board of Alderman chambers at 10 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned.